Alrighty, I think we're live. As usual, please let me know if you have any kind of audio or video issues. It'd be best to squash that right now. My lighting, which is usually awful, is even worse than usual. I'm not sure what's up with that. Maybe it's just because of the time of day? I don't usually have the blinds open. I don't know. Also, I think my eyes might just be failing me. I haven't been to sleep, really. I tried to sleep right before this for like a half hour, but sometimes when I stay awake for too long, my eyes start to get a little loopy. So, along with every other part of me. So maybe that's it. But hey, listen, enough of this nonsense. This is our live Q&A, our weekly live Q&A. My name is Nick. This is Board Game Brawl. If you're not familiar with what we do here, I answer your questions, basically. Most of the time, board game related, of course, but you can ask me other things too. I am not shy about talking about most things. If I won't answer a question, I'll usually say why, at least. You know, sometimes it's just boring or not very interesting for me personally, but that's just how it goes. So, in any event, let's just go ahead and get to them. Well, actually, a bit of news. Let's see. Not any huge news this week. Did a few reviews. The side review went up this morning. I was up all night doing that. Most of it was actually already done before last night, but I just it took a long time to write the script for the overview. That was the problem. Like, I actually filmed the intro and outro days ago, but was it like Tuesday or Wednesday? Because I had played the game like all last weekend. So I shot it really fast while it was still fresh in my mind. But then just like time got away from me. I had so many other things to do. I wanted other reviews to go up before that. And it turned out to be good timing. Like, I hope that we get eventually, like right now we don't have very many people watching, but maybe hopefully people will migrate over as they see that the side review went up. And we'll see what happens there. I didn't get my top 10 like I wanted to. I have a kind of a neat idea I had. I'm sure other people have had this idea before, but I wanted to try it myself. I'm not going to spoil it, but it would be actually 2 top 5s together, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully I can do that tomorrow. I'm thinking of canceling my game group for tonight because I'm so tired. And if that happens, I'll have a lot more time to do things. I have another preview I have to shoot quickly that's already late, and I feel bad about that. And 2 reviews that I had promised, which is really bad idea of me. I should not promise things anymore, especially for reviews, because I'm so backlogged. But okay. That's it as far as news. Let's go ahead and get to the questions. Not too many at this point, but hey, if you don't mind, if you could do me a small favor, just go ahead and share this on social media. If you have people on social media that follow you who are like-minded and would want to be interested in this, don't bother people who wouldn't be. God, why is my lighting even worse than usual today? I don't know. Oh well, it is what it is. I don't think you guys really care about the video quality on this so much. Alright, how do you play Marvel Legendary solo? Do you use any variants? Also, which expansions do you recommend for it? So, I had answered this question previously. I play it right out of the core rulebook as described. It has worked for me. It's fun. I wish it was a little more diverse, but it is what it is. Now, the last time we talked about this, and I think as Chris points, our moderator Chris, not that moderator Chris, but this moderator Chris, points out that there are something called the Golden Solo rules, and I also didn't know that Dark City had different solo rules. I guess I never bothered to look in the back of the Dark City book since I first got it. So I'll have to check those out. I still haven't checked out the Golden Solo rules. I meant to do it last time. Things got away from me. It's funny, too, because I played Captain America's 75th anniversary expansion solo. I just didn't think about it. I was in a rush. Okay. Thanks for your thoughtful review aside. You're welcome. Thank you very much for watching it. What do you think is your greatest strength as a reviewer, and what is your greatest weakness? So, all right, I'll do the good stuff first and end on the bad stuff. That's kind of my style. No, my greatest strength. First off, I hate saying stuff like that because I don't like complimenting myself, and I think that I don't even like when other people compliment me. But no, I do. It's fine. I think that it's just kind of my brutal honesty, and not holding back punches, which can be a fault too, I suppose. But yeah, just being willing to not hold back anything, especially due to any, which, I've talked about this before again and again. Sometimes I think that publishers who are really close with designers, or publishers who are really close with reviewers, sometimes that relationship can really muddle the message, and I see that a lot, or at least my speculation is that happens a lot. And I think I'm pretty much immune to that as far as I know. Of course, you can always think like maybe there's unconscious biases that I'm not aware of. But I think my brutal honesty and openness, and I think I speak okay, which I did not prove right there. But people have told me that before, that I speak well, and I think that that's the most important part, whether you are a video reviewer or blogger, podcaster. Even if you're a blogger just typing out something, you need to speak to the audience in a way that really connects with them. And people have told me that I do that. That's up to other people to decide. I wouldn't know that. As far as what my greatest weakness is, I'm way too long-winded. I mean, part of the reason why I switched to my new format for the overviews was to get those as short as possible, and it's worked okay, but I still am way too long-winded in my closing thoughts. Now, some people really love that, by the way, but I personally think I could cut it down quite a bit and get more concisely to the point. Who knows, maybe I would lose something by doing that, but that's just my perception, and I think other people have pointed that out to me. Technically speaking, as we can tell here, my lighting is terrible. I can't quite get my video quality where I want it to be. I think my audio has been okay, though. Well, I think, going back to the whole not really indebted to publishers thing, excuse me, I'm just checking to make sure everything's still okay with audio and all that. Sorry, I got distracted by a question I saw. No, it's a double-edged sword with the whole publisher thing. So being not indebted to publishers gives me an openness and a freedom to speak that I think a lot of other reviewers might hesitate to have, and being willing to publish negative reviews, but that comes at the cost of me not having connections, not being in the industry to a degree that would enable me to have access to better content, faster content, have it before other reviewers. I mean, Scythe is an anomaly, and we all know the story of that. I've told it many times now, and that's because of you guys helping me out. You can go and watch my unboxing video, just the beginning of it, if you want to know the story of how I got an advanced copy of Scythe to review. But I don't really have that option anymore, especially since some connections that I did have with companies like Asmodee just by coincidence moved on to other pastures, and no one, the new management, I guess, is looking to work with me or wants to work with me. I don't know what the story is there. So that is a problem. I mean, being independent, it means that you have to fend for yourself on a lot of things, including getting games. So we'll see. Thank you very much, Chris. I'm not going to read you guys are being very nice to me. I really appreciate that. I won't read them all, but I do read them all. I'm just not going to read them all out loud. Is there echo? If anyone else is having echo, let me know. Maybe it's just the mic's not close enough to me or something like that. Sorry. Hey Nick, sorry I missed the last few Q&As. I've been bouncing all over the country lately. Side looks great. Any word on the contest? I'll probably get that resolved tonight or tomorrow morning. It's just a matter of time right now. That turned out to be a little bit trickier than I thought. I'm going to make a Facebook post about it, just so you guys know. And I should be doing stuff on the Guild on Board Game Geek more. I tried for a little bit, and it's hard to keep up with that. Sometimes I double post. Most of my news, though, is disseminated through Facebook. I like Facebook. I don't know. I didn't used to, and now I do. And it's been my main way for me to communicate with you guys. I think it works very well. Because, again, also with my writing, I'm very long-winded, and Facebook enables that, whereas Twitter, not so much. And more people see my Facebook page as opposed to Board Game Geek. So Facebook, keep your eye on that, sort of, and I'll have news about that. But I will tell you, it'll be very anticlimactic. Kevin asks, Chris is feeding me back questions from other people, questions that may have gotten eaten, because YouTube eats questions if they're posted beforehand, which is really stupid. Did you keep your copy of Besieged or get rid of it? Do you think it was worth it to trade all your Zombicide stuff for it? I still technically have it, but it's on its way out. Was it worth it? Well, I was not playing any of my old Zombicide stuff anymore anyways, and I was ready to make the switch to Black Plague, and they're not that compatible, so I don't feel badly about getting rid of my Zombicide stuff, maybe as much as I should, but nevertheless, it is disappointing that Besieged did not work for me, and I've tried it from other, like, after I did my review, someone else in my gaming group wanted to play it, and I obliged because I'm a pushover sometimes. And a lot of people had complained about, like, my review. Well, they complained about my final opinion, like, I think I disagree, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, I really think I played it enough, but I'll give it another shot. And I was right for me. I really could not get into that game, even with a different perspective afterwards. So I'm disappointed, but this is the risk that you run, right? So we'll see what happens. Adam likes to get hung up on questions or statements that I've made in the past, so I made a little throwaway comment about how I did not believe that the Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and Dragon Ball Z miniatures games are going to be that good, and he probably believes that I know something top secret. Okay, I'm going to let you guys in on a secret. As I just said, I don't know anything about the industry. No, I don't know anything. I just know that Jasco Games, the company that does it, is the same company behind Mega Man, and that was a pretty bad game. I praised some aspects of Mega Man, but it was still a pretty bad game. Also, it's not as if their other games have set the world on fire, like the Ultimate Fighting game. So, I'm not exactly excited. I mean, it looks like another instance of a company getting the licenses to games and pushing out a game. Now, if I'm wrong about that, awesome, because a Dragon Ball Z game, or, well, one thing I'll note is that it is a little bit weird. A Dragon Ball Z game can make some amount of sense because oftentimes in the show there will be multiple characters fighting, although it's still usually one-on-one. But a Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat miniatures game, unless it's one-on-one, doesn't make a ton of sense, but still, I would be happy, very happy, to be wrong on all three counts. Two top fives? It sounds like a Sam Healy top 10. Okay, mine's very clearly delineated. You'll see what I mean, but I really appreciate that reference. So will you be keeping Scythe in your collection? I will be when I get my copy of it. I will be giving away this copy to fans in a way that I've kind of already decided, so we'll talk about that later. But so I made that decision long in advance. The whole point of me getting this copy was for the purposes of reviewing it and having a chance to play it and share it with all of you. It was a great deal for everyone involved, and now hopefully one of the fans as well who supported me in getting it. And so, but I had already been a backer, so I'll be getting my own, like, collector's edition, like the Super Kickstarter edition, which you guys can still buy at least the constituent components of. I don't know how he's doing that necessarily, but yeah, so I will have my own copy eventually, and I'll be very happy with it. Like my other Stonemaier games. It's a good company. There's a few publishers who have very consistent records that I'm very happy with, and Stonemaier Games is one of them, and they don't need to send me review copies of games for me to say that. It's the truth. It's panned out. I mean, their weakest game, I think, is Between Two Cities, and I still have it and like it. It's not a bad game. It's just a bit odd. But their other games, solid. Thanks, Nick, for having me hooked on Spectre Ops, the old Go Hide and Die game. I haven't played Spectre Ops in a while, but I was thinking about it the other day. It's a fun game. I like that a lot. Also, have you changed your mind on the Dark Souls Kickstarter? I'm trying to decide between funding it or picking up Robinson Crusoe on eBay and Tokaido. Well, I can't tell you what to buy. Dark Souls, to me, just looks great miniatures-wise, great even theme-wise. I like the dark nature of it. It's like dark fantasy, similar to Berserk and, of course, Kingdom Death. But I just find the gameplay a little bit lackluster. So I'm hesitating on it. But I may be wrong on that, and I think I'm getting a review copy of it, so we'll see how that goes. I'm not sure about that, actually. But as far, so I'm not going to give you a recommendation necessarily. You kind of got to make up your own mind on that. I will say that if there's a game that you have a strong inclination towards getting now, whatever that game might be. What is the saying? One in the hand is worth two in the bush? That sounds like a sex reference, honestly. Have you had a chance to download the new Descent app, Road to Legend, and have a look at it? It certainly looks good and a worthy addition to the Descent line. I'm very excited for it. I was just so busy last night into this morning that I didn't even bother to take the time to do it, but I will. Maybe I'll do it after this, as a matter of fact, or sleep. But I already posted about it on Facebook that basically I'm spending my whole Sunday playing around with it, or Kingdom Death. Any interest in the solo variant in the Grizzled expansion? I did not know there would be one, so mildly, maybe. I still have my copy of the Grizzled. If you guys watched my review, you know I was very, very lackluster on it, and I still feel that way. So it's one of those, but I kept it because why did I keep it? Well, it's a small game, so it's like, who cares, right? I like the art style. I like the story behind it, which should not have anything to do with the gameplay, but the whole thing about how it was one of the artists who died at Charlie Hebdo from the terrorist attack. I just couldn't bring myself to get rid of it. And now I have it, and I'm like, well, maybe let's try the expansion. So maybe I will. Who knows? It'll be good for the channel. And maybe I'll change my mind in the game. There have been other games that haven't... There are other expansions that haven't completely changed my mind on a game, but have made a game good enough to be worthy of staying in my collection, whatever that means. My game group actually likes the classic version of Quadropolis more than the expert. Are you stupid? No, I'm just kidding. Is there any games where you play the simpler rules? I can't think of any right now. Usually, in my experience, I just go straight into the expert. Now, part of that is because I have to review these games, and so we actually did play Quadropolis with the classic rules, but boom, right into the expert after that. Other games, I've jumped right to expert because I'm like, well, the differences in Quadropolis are actually... I know I said in the overview that they're not significant enough to warrant going over it because I have to keep the overview short, but really they are pretty significant. The fact that everyone gets a set quantity and therefore numbered set of workers, architects, and there's not as many buildings, you don't have as many rounds. It felt very, very different when we switched to expert. But, you know, part of the reason why I preferred Quadropolis with... I know that's not what your main point of your question was, but part of the reason I preferred Quadropolis with the expert rules was because it was one round longer, and I think other games could... I very rarely does it happen, but it does happen. Like, one of them is a review I should have done already for Ancient World, which is a good game. I'll just spoil that now. But it feels like it should be like one round longer at least, which I don't say very often. And I thought that Quadropolis had the same problem without the expert rules. So usually I think the expert rules are, just in general, and I can't think of many examples right now, but usually they're for the best. But if you like, I mean, listen, I always tell people, play the game you want to play, basically. Whatever, you know, it's your game. Do what you want with it. Really? Are you still excited for Tyrants of the Underdark? I think it comes out Monday. Well, I didn't know it was coming out so soon. But yes, I'll have to get on that as much as I can. I'm sure Vassal's already got a review up, if that's the case. I know I keep knocking the table. I'm sorry, guys. Actually, Nick, the lighting is much better today than it usually is. You look almost healthy. Seriously, no orange glow this time. Maybe that's the problem. I'm used to seeing myself look like Donald Trump with an orange skin. By the way, I rarely will show off my shirt, but I got this in the mail yesterday. Let me get to my other camera feed because I'm very happy with it. This is my Bernie shirt. A little white, maybe, but I'm sticking by Bernie, so I think that it's still got a place in my t-shirt collection. I'm thinking of getting, now it's more relevant, I'm thinking of getting a Donald Trump shirt. That will not be as flattering to Donald Trump. But I found it very amusing. I was actually thinking the other day, I have to specifically not wear shirts like this for my preview videos. Like, you can't tell me what to do on my review videos, but, you know, preview videos are for a client. They probably don't want my political views inserted. Wait a sec. Mark, I'm not sure what question. Mark, did I miss a question from you? Because, Mark, I don't know what your... Mark just says, I watched your review. Your stance was that you did not enjoy it all that much. Did you ever get a chance to play it again with any of the million expansions? If so, did your thoughts of it change? I don't know what game you're talking about, Mark. I'm sorry. I'm going to miss something. It might be my fault. I answered the Dark Souls question already. Sorry. Oh, okay. Lord of the Rings. There you go. No, I really, gosh, I wanted to like that game so much because it's cooperative, and I'm an okay Lord of the Rings fan. I'm not like a diehard fan. I think like every series ex-girlfriend I've ever had has been a huge Lord of the Rings fan. That's odd. And also Firefly, which, just can't get into that show. But I like Lord of the Rings, and I'm like, all right, Lord of the Rings, LCG, I like the idea, cooperative, you can play it solo, oh my god. I don't know why it didn't work for me. I have not tried it again since my review. Look, I've got so many games I either haven't played or have played and enjoyed that I need to review, so it just kind of fell to the wayside. Any chances of doing a review of Ninja All-Stars? Devoted fans of the game feel like it's very misunderstood. I'd personally like to see it from your perspective. That is one of the long-lost, perpetually undone... Uh-oh. Hold on a second. Video just lagged. Okay. It seems to be going again. But anyways, Ninja All-Stars is one of the long-lost reviews I need to get to. I will get to it eventually. I see what I want to do tomorrow, or maybe if I cancel my game group tonight, I'll work on it. I want to get a storage unit, and I want to move a bunch of games out of my apartment because I'm sick of looking at them, and it's like signal interference. It's noise in a sense. And I feel overwhelmed, but if I just see a pile of games that I know I have to get to review, I'll be more motivated to get to them. Or I'm just making up bullshit excuses for why I don't do things. Either one of those, really. Oh, Lee, don't do that. Lee Hathaway asks if I'm thinking about selling a kidney and buying Warhammer Quest next week. I'm weighing up all the options out there and just wondering if you, I presume, have a favorite dungeon crawler. Well, Lee, I don't have to sell my kidney, fortunately, although maybe I should, but I'll probably be getting Warhammer Quest, the Silver Tower as well, which is the new re-implementation that no one knows much about, but people know is coming from... In fact, I thought the rumor was that the pre-orders would be going up today. I didn't see them, though, when I looked while my video was uploading earlier today, but don't sell a kidney. Don't do that. It's fine. Some of these games from Games Workshop have stuck around on their website for quite a while, although Warhammer Quest seems to be very popular. As far as my favorite dungeon crawler, I'm always confused. I mean, I've said before what my favorite dungeon crawlers are, and people are like, that's not a dungeon crawler. So I don't know what the definition is. I guess I don't. I guess it's going through randomly generated content, mowing through monsters, gauntlet style, something like that. In which case, I may not have a favorite one. I guess I would call... What would you call Super Dungeon Explorer one? I kind of think it feels like one. But, I don't know. Because I would have said Descent. But, yeah. Maybe this will be the one. Oh, great. You can only play one board game, watch one movie, watch one TV show, and eat one food for the rest of your life. What are they? Well, at this point, especially because I have so much content for it, I have to say Kingdom Death Monster by default for the board game. Watching one movie. What's a movie I could watch over and over and over and over and over again? There's a few, actually. But I'll say The Matrix. I don't think the original Matrix movie has gotten old at all. Watch one TV show. That's tougher, actually. I am tempted to say Breaking Bad. But I think that when all is said and done, Game of Thrones will be the more compelling one. It's just, Game of Thrones, it's kind of hard to see through the weeds now. We're in the weeds of it, and it's tough to see how it's going to end. And eat one food for the rest of your life, sausage, egg, and cheese croissant sandwiches, because I'm a big fatso. Darkest Night, miniatures or standees? Miniatures! Mother effer. Sound like I should be forceful there. No, I'm very much on the miniature side, and again, I'm not gonna. I did a paid preview for the second edition of Darkest Night. That reminds me. I think I gotta change that link because they relaunched, and I was very much in the miniatures camp. Again, I don't want to comment on exactly what's in that I played. That's in the new Darkest Night. But I can tell you that, listen, it's Victory Point Games. They don't have great components. Some people find them charming. I don't. And that's why they do these premiere lines. They acknowledge that. So I don't understand people who are that against miniatures. And see, yeah, like all those games you listed, Chris, I've never actually played. And, well, some of them haven't been released yet. Sure. Nick, have you read about the Jim Fleming fiasco on BGG? No, I have not. Is that worth looking up right now? Probably not. I don't want to slow things down. But I will make a note of that. I always like it when you guys tell me things. Whisper of a dream. So inside reference. What was your favorite player count for Scythe? Well, I think actually 4 is the best for that because it's not a super long game, but it's long enough. And I found it very compelling. I mean, if the game dragged on, I definitely wouldn't like it nearly as much as I did. But I still think that, I mean, maybe even 3 is the best with that. 3 or 4. 2, it's just not quite interesting enough for obvious reasons. And although the rules say mostly the same, there's a couple little things I can't even remember right now. I'll be honest, the 2-player game that I played was like kind of like, we're testing it out and learning how to play half-heartedly kind of thing. But and the solo game was actually interesting, as I mentioned. I didn't go into it too much because, God, that review was long enough as it was. But I would qualify it as like a solo game that you play if you can't play it multiplayer. Which is to say it's not bad that way, but it's not like the end-all be-all. So I think 3 or 4 is the best. But I say that about a lot of games. Is there any game that you are anticipating to play that has not come out yet? Sure, Seafall I think would be first amongst those. And Tyrants of the Underdark. Nick, have you looked at this War of Mine board game? It looks awesome. It does indeed look awesome. I'm always hesitant about licensed games. I know that it comes from a designer who I think is pretty well renowned. Is that the Michael Orach guy? But I don't know. I'm just very hesitant about backing any Kickstarters right now, and especially a licensed one. But, Okay, Eric is really trying to get my take on a scene that happened in Civil War without revealing what it is and spoiling it for people who may not have seen the movie. But I do know what you're referring to, and it was very funny. Lots of great lines. Here, I'll say one that's not like spoiling. My favorite line, I think my favorite line from Civil War was when it was Iron Man who said, "Okay, if anyone on our side has any shocking and fantastic powers, now would be the time to use them." It was just very funny to me. Hey Nick, what is your favorite genre since pirates, fantasy, and ninja aren't your jam? Well, fantasy is my jam. I guess I get a little tired of seeing it, but I love fantasy in particular. I mean, Kingdom Death Monster is dark fantasy and very different. That's why I like it so much, but still fantasy. And you've got swords and dragons. And I like ninjas too, so I don't know where you got that idea, but shame on you, Charles. Really. I'm banning. No, I'm not going to do that. But you're right about pirates. I am not a fan of pirates, to say the least. Zombies I'm fine with. So I know that's not your question, but what other genres do I hate? The Old West. Wow, I think I hate the Old West more than I hate pirates. The Old West and pirates are my two least favorite themes for sure. And I'm sure there's other ones that I'm not that fond of. Stock markets might be the next one in line. But as far as like what's my favorite, if you want to discount fantasy and ninja since you said them, I do like them. I don't know. It's not something I've explored very much, but I like the idea of just being a normal Joe, which sounds stupid, right? But I have yet to play it, but I've owned Funny Friends from Freedom and Freeze for quite a while, and I got to get to it eventually. It's where you just, like, go through a life with someone, and it's, like, a really crappy life with drugs and sex, and I don't know. I think people should do... I don't think the board game should be super realistic, but exploring realistic themes with them in a very interesting way is perhaps not done as much as it should be. Top 5 current publishers. Okay, I will try to excise personal feelings from this. And I don't mind doing it here because I already did a top 10 publishers list over a year ago, maybe 2 years ago at this point, that landed with a wet thud. Nobody watched it, and nobody will ever watch it probably, which is fine, so I don't mind spoiling it here, and because I'm not going to do another one most likely. So I will do this based on consistency of great games and people, the publishers and designers involved with the games from that publisher caring about the product and putting a lot of effort into it. So, and these are in no particular order. I'm not going to worry about that. So I'll say one I've already said earlier in the podcast or the video. This is a podcast. Stonemaier Games. He doesn't have a ton of games under his belt, but look at the consistent quality. I mean, it's just great. It works out so well. If you want to split down Asmodee into its constituent parts of its major studios that it's purchased out, I would say that Days of Wonder probably in the top 5. I don't like every Days of Wonder game, no doubt about that. But again, like Stonemaier Games, I think that they put a lot of care and dedication into the few games that they put out. The components look incredible. They usually, even if it's not a game I'm really fond of, it has a very faithful following because they do put a lot of effort into the mechanisms as well. Plaid Hat Games, I'd say the same thing. Very close to Days of Wonder, as a matter of fact, in the sense that Plaid Hat Games has some misses for me. There's some games I definitely do not like from that company. No need to belabor that point here, but nevertheless, overall, they're just a great company that wants to make amazing games, and you can tell that. I appreciate their passion. So it's only 2? Oh no. I'm already rambling. Fantasy Flight Games. I mean, for all that they're, even before they were bought out by Asmodee, they were sort of this monolithic company, at least in hardcore board gaming circles. And yeah, you can say, too much Star Wars, and too many these, this and that. Still, I mean, that's my company right there. I mean, so many games that I love come from that company. So it's hard not to put them high. And again, dedication to quality components, and it's to their credit that they can be, at this point, a relatively huge company for this market and still have such a dedication to quality. That has to count for something, you know? I don't know. I'm trying to remind myself of other companies. If I don't say your publisher right away, then it's not because it's just because I'm a forgetful dork. I will not say Kingdom Death, the company, because they've only done one game and their customer service really sucks, by the way. Cool Mini or Not. Again, I've actually, the last 2 games I've played from Cool Mini or Not, one of which I have not reviewed yet, so I won't spoil it, I have not liked at all. But overall, their production quality and games in general have been very, very good. And they're like, people have said they're the next Fantasy Flight. I can see that now. And I'd have to name one more, don't I? I'm looking at my screen. I'm looking at me, looking past me, looking at my shelves on the video. Interesting, huh? I'm going to say Red Raven Games. I don't think the guy from Red Raven, Ryan Lockett, I think he hates me? Nah, he probably doesn't hate me, but he probably doesn't like me very much. But that's fine. I like his work a lot. The guy is a self-publisher, designs all the games, does the art for all the games, does the graphic design for all the games, everything. And I think as far as like the day-to-day workings of the company, I've heard that it's just him and his wife and whoever they hire. But that's amazing to me, and I have a lot of respect for that too. So there's my 5. I might change 1 or 2 if I thought of more publishers, but I'm pretty happy with it. Yes, that's a good point. Customer service is a huge deal, and companies like Stonemaier are stellar at it. It seems like such a small thing, but it's so not. The way that you get goodwill and maintain your base is by treating them with respect. Dungeon crawler question again. I don't know. Sorry, guys. I'm just seeing random comments. Do you feel that Dark Souls is riding on the popularity of Kingdom Death Monster Dark Adult Atmosphere? No, I feel like Dark Souls is riding on the popularity of Dark Souls. I have never played the Dark Souls games. I own Demon Souls, the predecessor to that series, that I played it very briefly. But Dark Souls is huge. It's huge, as Donald Trump would say. That's what it's riding the coattails of. I think it's... Well, I mean, maybe they planned it that way too. Like, oh, maybe Kingdom Death showed them that, oh, people will buy a really dark-looking board game. The time is ripe. But still, I don't think they needed any other influence to make a couple million with that game. What do you think of older games like Puerto Rico and Tikal? They seem to have a clean design that is lost in newer releases. Is it worth it for new board gamers to go back and play older Euros? It's worth it for you if you like Euros. If you like Euro games, the thing you can say is that while there's been many newer Euro games, and by the way, like Side didn't have some Euro game elements to it. There's some newer ones that are excellent, but the classics are the classics, and they seem to be timeless in a sense for people who are into those games. I'm not into classic Euros, so it's kind of a moot point for me. But I don't think that some games like that just don't seem to age out. People seem to love Puerto Rico as much as they did when it first came out. So people seem to love Settlers and Carcassonne and all these games that I really don't. But they don't seem to be aging out. Tikal I've played. Did I play Tikal or Tikal 2? I think I played Tikal 1. That's the one with the camps, right? Like, you can move further in and set up a base camp, and then you get treasure tokens, something like that, right? I think so. That was a game that my friend Scott, longtime friend, played D&D with him before he switched over to the board game group with me. He just had some really old games from his college days, and Tikal happened to be one of them, so he held on to it and still enjoys it greatly. Together with like Robo Rally, which I do not like. Okay, people just having conversation, which is fine. I just have to skip by it. Do you have any information on Eric Lang's new game, Arcane Academy? Well, I don't have any inside information, but it is an interesting thing that you bring up because if you were to go back, and I don't recommend this necessarily, but if you were to go back and watch my very first top 10 games of Gen Con, which was 2012, I think. No, it had to be 2013. 2013, a game called Generation Hex, Hex, was on that list, which has become Arcane Academy. That game has been in development for over 3 years, and finally, whichever company now has the publishing rights to it, I don't even know at this point. Oh, wait, didn't it become IDW? Oh, yeah. No, maybe it's someone else. I don't know. Someone who I was worried about. Maybe it was the same company as the Goonies game. But they finally dusted it off and changed the name. I don't know why. I like the old name. I thought it was funny. But now they're doing... Arcane Academy sounds so overwhelmingly generic. Because I almost had to be like, Arcane Academy? Do you mean Mage Knight Academy or Mage Wars Academy? And so dumb. But anyways, I still am hopeful that it's a good game. I mean, I like Eric Lang, but the fact of the matter is, Eric Lang has been hot for a while now. If he was hot somewhat when that game was originally announced years ago. If it hasn't been released up until now, I feel like this is one of his shelved prototypes, which happens sometimes. Sometimes publishers are like, just give us a game with your name on it. And they're like, and literally, and I've heard this from designers before, they say, I'll go into my prototype closet and grab one, and you can just mess around with it. So I'm worried that that's what's going to happen here. I know you've said you aren't a fan of this genre in the past. Do you have a favorite racing game? I'm really not. And as a joke answer, I always give Magical Athlete. But that might be my real answer. I don't know. I feel like I should have a better answer for that. But I really don't play a lot of racing games, and I don't like them very much. Oh, well now it would be, I haven't reviewed it yet because, again, it's stuck in review queue purgatory. Sure, I'll spoil it for you guys. Who cares? Automobiles is very fun from AEG. I'm going to say Automobiles is my favorite racing game. Have you played Scythe at least once so far? The review has gone up, so I hope I have. I didn't. No, I did. Several times. What is your favorite? I know I kept you guys in suspense, though. This is part of the reason why I stayed up late just to get it done last night. I was like, okay, people are asking me about my Scythe review in the comments of other videos. Should probably get that done. What is your favorite micro game? I'll still say Love Letter. It's just a solid game. And the original. Sell the kidney for Kingdom Death Monster. You'd have to sell both, unfortunately, at this point. Ever wanted to guest star on another YouTube channel like the Young Turks? Well, I did it with Richard Ham, Rado, and that was a lot of fun. I would love to be on the Young Turks, but they're, well, I don't think, Young Turks are not yet a household name and are still somewhat niche. They're still a very huge channel, and I don't have any kind of political presence other than me interjecting my opinion on these Q&As. So I don't think I'd be invited, but I would love to. I think it'd be amazing. I would love to just be on like the second hour or the post game. It'd be fun. I don't know what this expression is, but I'll repeat it verbatim. Are you foreign? Has Matt Laycock gone off the boil with two recent games, Thunderbirds and Nitwits? Now, I understand the intent behind what your phrase, though, so I'll work through it. I haven't played Thunderbirds. I'm not willing to say that it's a bad game, so I can't comment on that in particular. I'm not interested in it at all, though. That's the thing, because I think the Thunderbirds was a stupid, hideous-looking show. I'm just way before my time. Well, not even before my time. I remember watching reruns as a kid and thinking, I'd rather watch cartoons. And Nitwit was, to me, very mediocre. I just felt like there's a good concept there. Components are great. The idea is really neat. I would play Codenames anytime. 10 times out of 10, I'd play Codenames over Nitwit. Maybe that's part of the problem, too, is that I had the... But even on its own, Nitwit was not great. Does that mean he's off the boil? Matt Leacock doesn't have a lot of credits to his name. I mean, he's the Pandemic guy, and I think he's done very, very well with Pandemic. Pandemic is a great game. Not in my collection anymore. Pandemic Legacy still is. That's also great. Although he's worked with other people on both the base game and that game. Well, he worked with people on the expansions for the base game. But I don't know. But, you know, he's earned his place as a household name. I would have to see more work from him to know whether or not he's the real deal or not. What are your thoughts on people selling Kingdom Death Monster for triple retail? This is one of those instances where it sucks because people are going to be like, oh, I don't know if it's ever coming back in print, and they mortgage their home to get a copy of the game, and that's sad. I'm not mad at the people who do that, though, because, look, that is supply and demand. If people are willing to get rid of their copy, I would take advantage of it. I wouldn't, I would hope I'd be nice about it and just say, look, this game is out of print. It was already expensive. If you want it, you have to pay. You can pay me or not, but that's what the price is going to be. So I'm not mad at like the individual who's selling it. I can say that maybe I'm not mad, but I'm a little annoyed that there doesn't seem to be any plan to... I mean, it's clear that the game is going to be reprinted eventually, but the information is so lacking from Adam Poots and his team, and it's so... there's just no... I mean, he did put out a long post and talked about it at length, but still didn't give a solid answer, and I just feel like the game has been selling very well. It had a ton of buzz. I feel like there should be a solid plan, and then people wouldn't have to spend triple amount because they know, okay, I'll wait a little bit. I know it's going to be reprinted. But now people don't know when or if or what form that's going to take. It's kind of odd. I think they need to commit themselves to a choice. I already pre-ordered the Silver Tower Warhammer Quest remake here in the Netherlands. They already had a copy for review at the local Games Workshop. Really? I don't see it on the website, but their website's weird. Thank you very much, Charlie. I appreciate the kind words. Thoughts on the TV superhero show? Did you ever watch Lucifer? I really liked it a lot. No, I do have to say, though, I was tempted to because the AV Club, one of their staff writers, did such a great review of the first episode, basically saying, look, this is not a good show. And yet, it's strangely compelling, essentially, is what they said. And then, apparently, he or she, I can't even remember at this point, ended up liking it a lot more as the series went on. And it seems to have gotten a cult following. I will have to check it out. But there's so much stuff I need to watch that it's kind of been backburnered. Although, all of my favorite shows are ending. In fact, you mentioned TV superhero shows. I like them all, pretty much, except for Gotham, which I find execrable. It's terrible. It's like shit, basically, is what I'm saying. And that's another interesting thing, is just watching and reading a little bit of all the reviews from that staff writer for the AV Club for Gotham, and seeing his, like, love and mostly hate relationship with that show. Like they were like, hey, this episode was kind of good, and the next episode was like, why? So I have no temptation to go back to that. Young Bruce Wayne, who cares? Who gives a shit? I'm sorry. It's the truth. Sorry, not sorry. Hashtag. But I like The Flash, although The Flash was weak this season. The Flash made some really dumb choices this season. Although I liked the last episode. I think I did. The Arrow has been better. Arrow was much better than last season, which was bad. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has been pretty consistent for me. After that first run, the first half of the first season was awful, or at least just super mediocre. But it's been pretty good for me since then. I don't know. Other people are harsher on that show. I liked Supergirl. I'm glad it's coming back to the CW. Where hopefully they'll just like retcon and say, okay, the Flash and Arrow have all been part of the same world the whole time. And now we can all hang out together. That'd be super cool. And I'm very sad that they canceled Agent Carter, because I liked Agent Carter was a very niche show. You had to have been into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but willing to watch a show without costume superheroes running around, willing to watch a period piece, willing to accept a strong female lead, which for me is absolutely. Other people, comic book fans, not so much. That's the truth. And so those things conspired against it. And but it's sad. It's such a great show. I even liked the second season. People were bagging on the second season. I thought it was very good. Oh, okay. Thank you for clarifying that, Chris, without me having to look it up. The Jim Fleming fiasco on Board Game Geek was some dude claims to have gotten a bunch of games stolen out of his car, I believe, and was asking publishers for games, and it was a whole thing. It was a scam. And he's apparently been doing this for a while, and so even Aldi, the owner of the site, had to weigh in. Aldi's a good dude, and I hated to see him have to, and usually the community in Board Game Geek, whether you like certain people or not, or have a problem with trolls and that type of stuff, for the most part, the community in Board Game Geek is just an amazing community, and it's really sad when there's one asshole who sort of tarnishes it, at least temporarily, but I think they'll bounce back just fine. Hey, Joe is back from the army. That's right. I think I remember you mentioning that, Joe. Welcome back. I miss you too. I'm glad you're back and safe and sound. What's new? Actually, not as much as you would have thought. Stock markets, what about Stockpile? Stockpile was a rare exception. And I would argue that Stockpile was so straightforward and streamlined and family friendly that and also very bright, colorful graphics, that it bucked a lot of trends of what you see in stock market games most of the time. So Paul is mentioning there's too much black space between when my overview ends and when my final thoughts begins. Well, there's a reason for that, because I put an ad there in that space. If you have ad block, you may not be seeing that. Shame on you, but it's fine. That's why, because before it was awkward inserting an ad when it cut directly to me. So that's why. I got the idea from Red Letter Media, actually. Lots of military guys and girls watching the show, actually. Very hardcore fan of the show, and someone who's done a lot of good work for me. A lot of solid favors. And he's on a military base in Japan. I always feel funny about mentioning people's names when they're not present, so I'm not going to do that, just for no particular reason. But he not only was the highest bidder for the copy of in the charity auction that led to me getting the initial copy of Scythe, and we blew him away. I mean, he was the highest bidder in the whole auction, which was amazing. I was so happy, so generous. And he also gets games for me from the Tokyo Game Market, which is great. I mean, it's amazing. He doesn't have to do that. He does it because he loves the channel, and I have nothing but respect for the guy. So love my Army viewers. Army, Navy, Air Force. I don't mean to use Army as a catch-all term. That's probably incredibly offensive because you guys have rivalries. Okay. What was the video called with top 10 anime? It was called Optional Variance Episode 1 Top 10 Anime Series. That's a mouthful. Maybe that's why it didn't succeed very well. Also, it was an anime top 10 on a board game channel. Did you watch the Onitama review by Board Game Theater on The Breakfast? It was pretty horrible. Well, I haven't watched an episode of Board Game Breakfast since I left, possibly even before then, so no. But I would say it's an acquired taste, that segment. Your review of Euphoria was positive, but not overwhelmingly so. You've said since then it has grown on you more. Can you explain? Thanks. Yeah, I've only played it like once or twice more since that review, which was quite a while ago. I think that it's not necessarily that anything has changed with regards to Euphoria. It's more like my perception of games that I like and enjoy has changed. And I've gotten more into Euro games and hybrid Euro games in particular. So that would be why I thought about that. And I would tenuously classify Euphoria as a hybrid Euro game. Maybe. Okay, wow. Now I kind of wish I'd seen it because they took down the performance. Please scroll down for my question that I'm about to ask. No, you can't make me. In fact, we're done with this. Oh. Was it racist? Oh, gosh. I want to see it now. Not that I want to watch racist things, but it sounds like it was a train wreck. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Thoughts on Warhammer Quest? Well, I never played the original. I'm excited about the new one because of that. Which is your favorite displayed miniature in your apartment? Perhaps show to camera. Dance for me, monkey. Dance! Dance, monkey, dance! Added emphasis. I don't display all of them, but I'll tell you what. I'm very impressed with... I'm trying to sidle off camera so you don't see my big fat ass. Here, let me get to my other camera view so I can show this off properly. I am very disturbed and impressed with Spidicules. Spidicules, however you pronounce it, from Kingdom Death Monster. I mean, it's so creepy. And what you may not see because of this camera, see, right in the front, that's a body. That's a torso, a mutilated torso hanging from his front hook, like one of those fish that has the lantern that coaxes other fish into its maw. And actually, I'm missing a piece that's supposed to go. Where's it supposed to go? Oh yeah, one of his other small arms here is supposed to have another corpse hanging from it, and I'm missing that piece. I don't think I ever had it. Also, Spidicules was the one expansion that had a persistent problem amongst all the copies, which is that people got the wrong mismatched leg. So I had an extra left leg from its perspective, and I should have had another right one. But still, actually, look. I mean, it doesn't. It seems to hold up very well. You can't really see, but it's super creepy. Everyone's really creeped out by it. I haven't used it yet either, so I don't even know how it works in the game. Does it take up the space that its central body hovers over? I probably won't get to it for a while either. Why does Ryan Lockett not like you? I don't know. I say that this is one of those things I don't have any concrete proof on, right? It's pure speculation on my part. I just know that I've given a lot of very positive reviews to his stuff before. I know that once, after I did a couple of those reviews and my channel had like a few thousand subscribers, I reached out and he didn't respond, or he did respond negatively, like, I'm not interested in sending you review copies, something like that, right? And now it's been a while, I've done even more positive reviews, and not because I'm like, please like me, but because his games are really good. And I don't know, he's not interested in working with me, which is his total right. I will never let my opinion of someone personally influence whether or not I like their games content. It does so happen that certain people I don't like Bonacor from Stronghold Games, by coincidence, their content is shit for the most part, which is convenient, so I can avoid their crap anyways. But other cases, I'm like, well, it's fine. And I have nothing personally against Ryan. Maybe I'm completely misreading the situation, by the way, and he likes me. He really likes me. But it doesn't matter either way. I like his games a lot. Nick, would you pre-order the Dead of Winter Long Night from Pladat Games for the Rich Summer promo, even though you had to pay extra? I don't even remember if I did or not. I think I pre-ordered it, but I can't remember if I did it from there for cool stuff. It's just a promo. It's entirely up to you. I think that if you have the base game, because you can play Long Night standalone, but if you've already got that and the base game, you have so many characters to use that is one promo really going to make a difference for you. It's not like Arcadia Quest where they're pretty necessary. I see. Lillian is of Japanese descent and said that the video is... yeah, that spider does need paint. I agree. Being of Japanese descent, she didn't really find it as offensive, the video, so I'm not trying to put words in people's mouths or implying that without having seen it, but it's still interesting. Yeah, also, like, I did a review of Onitama, and I think with any of these Asian games that I review, I might, if it's a game that's based on anime concepts and artwork, I'll talk about that at length. But I've never felt the need to, like, do wacky things regarding the culture of a game and the culture and ethnicity of the people who designed it. It is weird, isn't it? I'm currently watching you from a vacation in Rome. Well, screw you, buddy. No, I'm kidding. Congratulations. I think it's probably it'd be amazing to visit there at some point in my life. What are your own vacation plans for the summer? I think you could need it, buddy. You are 1,000% right, Nikolai. And what an awesome name, might I add. With no bias whatsoever from me. Yeah, I need a vacation, and I have vacation time, and I should use it. And I was supposed to take a 3 or 4 day vacation a couple months ago, and as sort of well, whatever, a kicking off point for a relationship type thing, but it just didn't plan out. So I've been kind of bummed about that, and I've just kind of burying myself in work, both day job and night job, and it's been kind of stressful to say the least. So you are probably right. I don't have any plans for the summer, unfortunately. If I do take a vacation, I'll probably just be hanging out at home and working on the channel. Hi, Nick. What do you prefer, a game with great art and theme but basic mechanics, or a game with new and interesting mechanics but no theme and boring art? Neither? Can we not have the best of both worlds? The games that have been the best for me have mixed those things very, very well. Think of a game like Abyss, which has very interesting mechanisms, and while the theme might be pasted on, it looks so good and is so beautiful that it kind of rises above that. Think of Kingdom Death, which to me is like the perfect mix of all these different elements. Think of Scythe, which I just reviewed. If I'm not spoiling it for people, but you can go and watch that review, which mixed very good components, a pretty decent theme. Maybe it doesn't come out as much as I would have liked, but a pretty decent theme together with great gameplay, and you can have it. You can have all of these things. But if you're putting me a gun against my head and I have to choose, I have to say new and interesting mechanics, but no theme and boring art, which sounds exactly like what I would not say, but I have to be engaged in the game. I have to be engaged with what I'm physically doing. Okay? It's why I've given a pass to a couple of Stefan Feld games I've played and enjoyed them, even though they are dull as far as the theme goes. But as far as the mechanisms, I was always engaged and it was not boring. So it's super important. Nick, did you get your check yet from Disney for your opinion on Civil War? They owe me so many checks. I'm just tired of calling their offices, really, and asking them. What is your favorite board game based off of a video game IP? Do I have one? I don't know that I even have one that I like. Off of movies, yes. Someone should remind me, because I don't think I have one. Mega Man was a bust. I haven't played any of those like really old Milton Bradley or Hasbro board games based on video games. If you guys can think of one, I mean, I can think of some that are influenced by video games, but nothing in particular. Kemble's Cascade was okay. Super Motherload is clearly based off of like Dig Dug, and it's really, really cool, but it's not a specific video game. Hey, it wouldn't be a Q&A if I didn't rub my nose disgustingly. Did you back Eon's End? I did not. It looks interesting, though. Good artwork. Oh, the ads don't show up when watching on my PS4. I was wondering why there was such a long fade to black. Yeah, that's why. And then Paul says, I am shamed about the black screen. I am just too lazy to sort the ad block. Now I have been publicly outed. I'm not trying to publicly out anyone. I'm just stating a fact, you bastard. I'm just kidding. All right, we're getting to we're way over time. Not way over, but we're over time. Spider needs paint. That is fucking sweet. You're right. Did you actually play with that Kingdom Death miniature? No, I don't know how it's going to fit. I'm very curious about that. What about your opinion of Peterson? Well, yeah, my opinion of the Peterson clan, of the people who did Cthulhu Wars, is really negative. But still, no. Still, I'd be willing to play their games and try them. I mean, I just thought Cthulhu Wars was okay and not worth the cost, for me. But I didn't have anything against it personally, and I would be interested in their other... They have a deck building game that they picked up from someone else that looked interesting. I almost backed it on Kickstarter. Oh boy, someone's giving me a Oda, who's... I appreciate your comments very much, and I'm not going to repeat that, just because I don't want to pile on too much on this Onitama review, but that someone else did. But it's... Yeah, it sounds a little questionable. And by the way, let's be very clear about this. Onitama is a very abstract game. So none of this makes any sense. Oh boy. It's like if I reviewed a German game and I just started talking in a German accent and wearing like lederhosen or something. Just like, why? Oh, boy. Oh, Plants vs. Zombies Risk. That was a decent game. Sure, I liked it. Fine, I'll give you that. That's my number one video game board game. How come you are not sick this week? Because I'm lacking in sleep. That's a form of being sick, right? I can't stop answering questions. Stop asking them. Yeah, I can see Lillian, who is of Japanese descent, says that, yeah, it's borderline offensive. Essentially, when it's a tea ceremony with a geisha filling up the teapot. That's a bit odd. No doubt. All right, I think I'm catching up. Any board game companies that get you excited as soon as you hear a new game is coming out? Yeah, sure. Any of those companies I listed before, of the top 5 publishers, will loose the list. Cool Me or Not, Plaid Hat, Fantasy Flight, for the most part, Stonemaier, the usual suspects. Are there any companies you would avoid their games all the time despite the buzz they might generate? I don't know that I'm there yet. Even with Stronghold, if they put out a game that just looked amazing, I would be fine with playing it and possibly even reviewing it. But it hasn't happened. Their lineup is terrible. My God. But with regards to IDW, oh boy, I keep coming back. This might be an offensive comment, but it's the thing that pops in my head because I've heard someone else make the reference about something unrelated. But I keep coming back like a beaten spouse. Really, I keep every time I play an IDW game, it's either mediocre or outright awful. And I just keep coming back because they keep getting these licenses I'm interested in. Oh, my Lord. You're right. You are so right. Super Motherload is based on a game. Now, I haven't played that game, but there you go. That would probably make Super Motherload my number one video game by default. The 2 best words in the English language. Default. That's a Simpsons reference. I like Space Team as well. Okay, fine. I told you guys I couldn't think of these things on the fly. Am I caught up? I'm caught up! Woo! Well, I did tell you guys to stop asking questions. Okay, you probably shouldn't have listened to me. But that's fine. It's a perfect place to end. Guys, thank you so much. We're ending right when my nose starts to run, which is usually how we start our videos. This is good. This is progress. Thank you so much for all of your support. I will have news on who won the Scythe contest. You guys can go watch my review of Scythe. I think it's very good, and but what do I know? I'm biased. And I think the game is very good. I'm not denying that. Whatever. Okay. I'm very tired. I'm going to probably go get some sleep. I'm going to think about first whether I'm going to cancel my game group for tonight or not. I don't want to. I think I have the Time Stories expansion waiting outside my door right now. But that's it, guys. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. This was a really great, even better than usual Q&A. Maybe because I wasn't sick the whole time. God, just watch myself rub my nose. Disgusting. Okay, that's my cue to go. Thanks so much. Love all of you. Take care.